Q50 was there when Bloodhound Lil Jeff got killed.
He was, yeah.
Right. Bloodhound Lil Jeff got shot and killed. He got shot 12 times. And you actually talked about this.
19.
The streets are buzzing with the leaked final moments of Lil Jeff, the Bloodhound's most feared enforcer known as the Pistol. Professor Jeff lived and died by the code of the streets, leaving a trail of bodies and a legacy of chaos. From his alleged hits to his ruthless lyrics, Jeff embodied the violent life he rapped about, emulating his idol King Vow. Now, as footage of his last stand surfaces, the world gets a raw, unfiltered look at the man behind the myth. Lil Jeff's last moments. Lil Jeff and his right-hand man Q50 were no strangers to the streets. These two were the heart and soul of the Bloodhound gang, known for their ruthless lyrics and even more ruthless actions. Jeff's raps weren't just bars, they were blueprints. For the life he lived, he'd spit about jumping out of cars, chasing ops, and turning blocks into war zones. And on June 8th, he was living out one of those verses until it all went sideways. Surveillance footage leaked from that day shows Jeff Q50 and another shooter rolling up to South Rhodes Avenue a block. Jeff had name-dropped in his WS more times than we can count. The clip starts with Jeff hopping out of the car, gun in hand, and immediately lighting up a dude in bright yellow shorts, later identified as Man. Man ducks behind a car, bolts up a porch, and tries to dip into a house. But Jeff, he's right on his tail, firing shots like he's in a music video. But here's where it all goes wrong. Someone inside the house starts blasting back. Jeff, caught off guard, gets hit and stumbles backward, collapsing at the bottom of the porch, and then they unload on it. Reports say Jeff was hit 19 times, with shooters dumping an entire mag into his body as he lay there defenseless. While Jeff was on the ground, Q50 and the other shooter were still in the mix, trying to hold it down. The footage shows Q50 slipping and falling in as he tries to return fire, injuring his ankle in the process. But even limping, he kept shooting, even taking pot shots at a passing car. Why, some say the driver was linked to Man, but we may never know for sure. What we do know is that Q50 was outgunned and outmanned when the driver of their car realized Jeff was done for. He dipped, but here's the wild part: Q50 and the other shooter actually circled back, grabbed Jeff's lifeless body, and took him to the hospital. Yeah, you heard that right. They spun the block, dodging bullets, just to give Jeff a chance. But it was too late. Q50 was the one who saw Jeff take his last breath on the way to the ER. The streets don't stop for nobody, not even a legend like Lil Jeff. By June 9th, the news was everywhere. Twitter was on fire. Reddit threads were popping off and the police scanners were buzzing with chaos. But for Jeff's crew and family, this wasn't just another headline. This was personal. Jeff's dad took to Facebook, posting throwback pics of his son with the caption, "World, he didn't hold back either," writing, "Let it be known, y'all didn't get him. He came trying to get y'all, and what happened, happened." But the saga continues. Clear the streets. Some called him out for glorifying in the lifestyle, but others understood the pain of a father who lost his son to the same streets that made him a legend. Then there's Q50, Jeff's cousin and right-hand man. Didn't waste time crying in a chilling post. He called Jeff his brother and twin and vowed to do exactly what Jeff had told him to do. Translation: revenge is coming, and if you know Q50, you know he doesn't make empty threats. But here's the thing about the streets. Sometimes people don't listen until it's too late. After Lil Jeff's death, Q50 made it clear that the Bloodhounds weren't going to let this slide. He vowed to finish what Jeff started, and anyone who knew Q50 knew he wasn't playing. But Trap City, the set allegedly responsible for Jeff's death, didn't seem to care. In fact, they doubled down on the disrespect, mocking Jeff and Q50 in the most brutal ways possible.
Q50 slide right here, man. That's what they call him, slide now, man. We slide, he's right there.
In the days following Jeff's death, Trap City members took to social media to clown the fallen rapper, and his crew. Videos surfaced of them reenacting the shooting, laughing as they mimic Jeff's final moments. One clip showed a trap. City member pretending to collapse on the ground, shouting, "I'm hit, I'm hit," while his friends laughed in the background. Another video featured a group of them chanting Trap City. K, a direct jab at Jeff's death. The disrespect was the next level, and it didn't stop there. Instagram became a battleground with Trap City members flooding Lil Jeff's mentions with taunts and memes. The streets were watching, and Trap City was making sure everyone knew they weren't afraid of the Bloodhounds. Meanwhile, the man who took down Lil Jeff would soon become a hero in the Trap City community. The name on everyone's lips after Jeff's death was Trap City. Rob, also known as iTrap Rob. According to Carology, a Reddit user who claimed to have cracked the case, Rob was the one who fired the shots that took Jeff down. Rob had reportedly been arrested several times at the house where the shooting took place, and after Jeff's death, posts quickly circulated naming him as the shooter. A news article confirmed that the shooter was wanted by police, and on June 16th, Chai users appeared to identify Rob in a new post in the photo. Rob was wearing a shirt that seemed to troll Jeff and the way he lost his life. The caption Trap City K, but despite the speculation, Rob was eventually arrested and later released without facing any charges for Jeff's killing. The streets were furious, and the Bloodhounds were left with more questions than answers. The feud that got Lil Jeff killed. Yo, y'all already know the name Bloodhounds. This ain't just some random gang. This is a clique that's been holding it down in Chicago for over a decade, thanks to rappers like Lil Jeff, Q50, and Vert. The Bloodhounds became one of the most well-known sets in the drill scene. But let's keep it real. This ain't no overnight success story. The Bloodhounds have been deep in the streets since the early days of drill, and their rise to fame is as gritty as it gets. The Bloodhounds were formed during the original drill wave, in the early to mid-2010, when Chicago's underground rap scene was just starting to blow up. But don't get it twisted, this ain't just one gang. The Bloodhounds are more like a coalition, a clique made up of members from 4 main sets in the Chatham and Woodlawn neighborhoods: Drill City, MTV, Euro 79, 400 East, and Chris W. World. Most of the members come from Drill City, which is why the Bloodhounds primarily claim Drill City's territory. That's the stretch of 79th Street from Ellis Avenue to Cottage Grove. If you know Chicago, you know this area is no joke. It's one of the most dangerous blocks in the city, with shootings, fights, and police chases happening on the regular. This is the same block where Lil Jeff and Q50 can be seen flexing. In Jeff's music video for Should Have Saw It, the two are posted up walking around like they own the place, and in their minds they do. However, that soon changed when a feud between the Bloodhounds and Trap City broke a decade of peace between the gangs. For years, the Bloodhounds and Trap City ran together under the banner of Bloodhound, Euro 67.
So, okay, the Bloodhounds, y'all was cool.
That was my homie. He stole the chain, bro. We tried like took it. He stole my own chain.
Trap City wasn't having it. They cut ties with the Alliance, and the streets quickly divided. Most sets sided with Drill City, leaving Trap City isolated and furious. The tension was thick, and it didn't take long for the first shots to be fired. The real turning point came on March 16, 2023, when Z-Money, aka Z Nelson, Jeff's cousin and a key figure in the Bloodhounds, was gunned down in a brutal ambush. Z-Money was posted in his ride on 79th in Kimball, waiting for his homie to finish up at the dry cleaner. Out of nowhere, a whip pulls up and shots ring out. Z-Money tried to dip, but they caught him in a hail of bullets over 29 times. His boy returned fire, but it was too late. Z-Money was gone. The streets started buzzing with rumors. Some said Z-Money's own people, his old crew from Trap City, set him up. Others claimed it was over a girl or a stolen chain. Whatever their reason, the trust was shattered. Jeff and Q50 tattooed Z-Money's name on their eyelids and Z's on their trigger fingers, vowing to make Trap City pay. Lil Jeff wasn't the type to let a slide go unanswered. In June 2023, he made his first major move. Trap City member Lial, real named Jaleel Gus, was sitting in an Uber in the Little Italy neighborhood when Jeff allegedly pulled up and opened fire. Little Italy, also known as University Village, is one of the most upscale and gentry IED areas in Chicago. It's a neighborhood known for its trendy restaurants, coffee shops, and low crime rates. But on this night, the streets calling Leal a member of Trap City was in the backseat of the car when someone approached on foot and opened fire. Witnesses reported hearing more than 20 shots, suggesting the use of a high-capacity firearm. The shooter didn't missile, who was hit multiple times through the rear passenger window. Rideshare driver Robert Smith acted quickly, rushing Leal to the hospital, but it was too late. Leal was pronounced dead upon arrival for Smith. The experience was traumatic. He later shared how Lee likely passed away during the short drive to the hospital, a chilling reminder of how fast life can be taken in the streets. Leal's death sent shock through the community, not just because of the brazenness of the hit, but because of who he was. Leal was well connected to Project Hood, a local organization dedicated to combating violence in Chicago. Pastor Corey Brooks, the founder of Project Hood, confirmed that Le was the son of an employee and released a statement mourning his loss. "We are deeply saddened by the loss of Jell Goins, a young man who was connected to our organization through his family. This senseless violence has to stop," Brooke said. Despite the high-profile nature of the case, no arrests were made. The shooter vanished into the night, leaving behind a trail of questions and a community in mourning. In his music and social media posts, Jeff taunted City over Leal's death the very next day on June 26, 2023. Jeff J.B. Bin Laden and Q50 dropped their remix to Lil Yachty's Coffin, reusing the beat and creating their own version of the song. The timing was no coincidence. The music video filmed before Leal's death begins with Q50 showing an old video of Z Money emphasizing the impact Z Money's death had on their lives. The lyrics are filled with the usual themes of violence and retribution, but one line stood out. "Catch him in a fishbowl. Now he's swimming with the fishes in the trenches." A fishbowl is a car with knotted, basically a death trap. And when Jeff dropped that bar, everyone knew exactly what he meant. Leal got left in a ride-share whip with clear windows, and Jeff made sure the ops knew that was no coincidence. This wasn't just rap. It was war music. The Bloodhounds weren't playing with Trap City, and Jeff made sure to let the whole city know his name was ringing bells, and his rep as a fearless, ruthless stepper was only growing. But Jeff wasn't done. Just 2 months later, on August 31st, 2023. The Bloodhound slide again. This time the target was Glendale. An alleged Trap City member posted up at a Clark gas station on 67th in the Heart. Out of nowhere, the shooters pull up and let loose Glenn, who got hit multiple times and barely made it out alive. That same night, Chicago was on fire. 4 people got shot in Woodlawn, including a 4-year-old kid named Glenn, and the next day, he hopped on social media thanking everybody who checked in on him, but he didn't stop there. He had a message for the ones who wanted him dead, and let's be real, that was aimed straight at the Bloodhounds in Drill City. The war only got bloodier. January 2024, the streets got even darker. Montero Monty Drew Williams and Robert Lil Rob Boston, 2 brothers from Nitty Block, got gunned down in broad daylight. This wasn't some sloppy hit. This was a carefully planned execution. The shooters waited for the perfect moment, then let it rain. Monty and Lil Rob were big names in their set, and their death shook the whole hood. Jeff wasn't about to stay quiet. He hit social media, with subliminals throwing up cryptic messages and taunts aimed straight at Trap City and Nitty Block. If you knew, you knew. And in case anybody was still wondering, his music made it clear tracks like Double Trouble and Street Confessions had fans, dissecting every...
My career got shot up when I was like 14. I was some stupid the bullet that blew like right past my face. They had shot the back and the front, then they blew the car, set that on fire. It was busting, I ain't gonna lie, it was going on. They almost hit me, though. You know what I'm saying, though? Shit like that.
These experiences, combined with the realities of Chicago's South Side, molded Jeff into the person he became. By the time Jeff was 18, he was fully immersed in the gang life. In the same DGU interview, Head admitted, "I'm going say when I came outside for real. I was like 18, okay? I just turned like 18, but once he entered the street, there was no turning back." Jeff became a key figure in the Bloodhounds, a clique known for its ruthless reputation and deep ties to the streets Jeff's mother seemed to encourage. His violent tendencies in a now viral Instagram story she praised him, saying, "Go ahead, son. Your name ringing bells in the streets. I said that my boy." She even expressed pride in him for sliding on kids he used to share a bed with as a child. By 2022, Jeff had become a legend in the streets when he dropped his first track, The Bloody Family. He wasn't just another rapper from the trenches. He was a force of nature, a walking nightmare for anyone who crossed him. Or his gang rappers feared him because he wasn't just about the music. He was about that life. And when it came to sliding on his ops, Jeff didn't play games. He was the pistol professor, and class was always in session when it came to Jeff's alleged victims. The list is long and often debated. Some rumors are more credible than others, but one thing's clear. Jeff's name was always in the mix. One of the more obscure names is Lil Gutter, real nom Ronnie Lil Jeff, an alleged member of the hit squad who was killed in 2021. Gutter was shot on the 700 block of 79th Street, just a short walk from the intersection of 79th and Maryland, a spot frequently claimed by Jeff and other Bloodhounds in their music videos. However, there's little concrete evidence linking Jeff to the murder. Another name often mentioned is Black real name Roger Lewis, a 33-year-old OG from the Evans mob, who was killed in a drive. By in March 2022. The issue with this theory is that Black's alleged killer was arrested and charged the following month, making it unlikely Jeff was involved in 2022. Jeff took a major loss. His close homie Jamaican Lawston, better known as Gemmo. Word on the streets is J-Mo was tied to the 06679 Alliance, and when he got dropped, Jeff wasn't about to let that slide. Some say this was the moment that turned him into a real stepper. His first body might have been about getting revenge for J-Ma Bloodhounds. Been mentioning Jay's murder in their music, hinting that he got caught slipping outside a corner store or gas station, but Jeff wasn't just putting in work in Chicago. Rumors say he was catching bags in Milwaukee too. A photo popped up of him chilling with some Milwaukee gang members straight out of a music video featuring rappers like Ghost, 53206, Super Throw Fade, and Cracks the Bloodhounds. Hound's been dropping Milwaukee and their lyrics too. JB Bin Laden even rapped about them having blood for hire, basically saying they were selling hits. Jeff himself rapped about being in Milwaukee like the Bucks, and Q50 claimed in a leaked track that he had bodies from state to state, including in Milwaukee, but let's be real. There's no hard evidence backing up these claims. One of the more solid rumors ties Jeff to the hit on Lil Pooh, real name Pierre Boza Jr. Pooh was supposedly with Flipside and maybe even Trap City on April 9th, 2023. Just weeks after Z Money got it. Pooh was found laid out on the front lawn of his Cribbinsville, riddled with bullets. Police still ain't solved the case, but Jeff wasn't exactly quiet about it. He damn near confessed on social media, and even in an Unreal track in the song In Your Home. Jeff raps about Pooh dissing Z Money and describes someone getting left in the grass outside their house, damn near a bar, for a breakdown of Pooh's crime. Seen the track later made it onto Jeff's posthumous album, Stepping in Blood. But here's where it gets messy. One of Pooh's own homies from Flipside actually paid respects to Jeff after Headied, while a rival crew called Hadway also claimed they were the ones who got Pooh out the way, and when Jeff got killed. Pooh's brother wasted no time celebrating